What's up everyone, it's the One Jame, and today we're going to go over some AI generated magic cards, but they're not the ones you're probably used to seeing from Urza's AI. Urza's AI is an AI generated magic card platform that is designed for Magic the Gathering cards. But what if we plugged in some Magic the Gathering cards in ChatGPT OpenAI? I've tried this in the past just to put a card in there, and it ended up giving me a magic card in response, so I wanted to make a video for all of you to let you know the potential of OpenAI and as opposed to Urza's AI. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some cards, and I'll react to the ones that it gives us and compare them to maybe what Urza's AI would give us. So with all that said, let's go ahead and plug in some magic cards in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, make me a Magic the Gathering card, and then we're going to see what it says. And just like that, it says, sure, here's a Magic the Gathering card. We have Arcane Enigma, mana cost 2 blue, card type, it's an illusion creature with power toughness 2/2, and it says whenever Arcane Enigma becomes a target of a spell or ability, you may draw a card. Well, that seems pretty good. So it's a 2 mana 2/2 illusion, and when it just becomes a target of a spell or ability, you can draw a card. That's pretty good. A spell or ability that includes your opponent's. Flavor text: the more you think you understand it, the less you actually do. And it also gives you a little bit of a description here. This card is all about trickery and deception and making it perfect for a blue deck. Its ability to draw a card whenever it becomes a target of a spell or ability makes it a valuable tool for card advantage, while its power and toughness of 2/2 make it a decent attacker and blocker. The flavor text emphasizes the mysterious nature of this card and hints at the fact that there may be more to it than meets the eye. I mean, this gives you a little bit even more information than the Urza's AI does, but Urza's AI gives it an art as well. And what you can do technically is say, can you generate an art for this card? And it will give you a description of an art, and then you can go to another AI platform that you can put the description of that in the AI platform, and it will make the art for you. So you can just make a whole deck out of these if you wanted to. So let's go ahead and go on to number 2, and we could just say, that sounds good. Make me another one. Okay, and this one is Vengeful Flames. Its mana cost is 2 red and a color, so 3 mana for an instant, and Vengeful Flame deals 3 damage to any target. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. Usually the 3 mana versions of a card like this deal 5 damage, but 3 damage is a little bit underpowered, so I would say this is going to be a common or uncommon. The flavor text is, their treachery will not go unpunished. Let the flames of justice consume them. This card is all about dealing damage and punishing your opponent for their actions. Its ability to exile a creature instead of sending it to the graveyard can be particularly useful, especially if your opponent has ways to bring creatures back from the dead. The flavor text emphasizes the card's theme of vengeance and justice and makes it clear that it's not to be messed with. Yeah, don't mess with my Vengeful Flames card or it will exile you. I'm going to try to ramp it up a little bit and say, make me another one, but a little bit more powerful. All right, let's see what it says. Sure thing, here's a more powerful Magic the Gathering card. Name, Cosmic Conduit. I mean, these names are honestly really good. Mana cost 3 blue, 3 colorless, so 6 mana, and it's an enchantment, so it's like a Shark Typhoon. Ability, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library for a non-land permanent card and put it onto the battlefield. If you do, shuffle your library. Oh my gosh. This is just a 6 mana card that you just sit there, 6 mana, do nothing, and then when it goes to your turn, you just get to put one on the battlefield from your library, and you get to keep doing that over and over. I mean, that is more powerful. Flavor text: the secrets of the universe lie within my grasp. All I need is a conduit to channel their power. Who do you think said that? I think I don't know. Who works with it? What's like a planeswalker or something that works with enchantments that is blue? I don't know, I guess it could just be Jace or something. Like, who said that flavor text? You know, it's like, it can't be Tezzeret, because that's not an artifact. Like, I feel like it could be like Jin Kataxis or something. This card is extremely powerful, allowing you to put a non-land permanent card onto the battlefield every turn at the beginning of your upkeep. This can quickly overwhelm your opponent with powerful creatures or game-winning artifacts or enchantments. The high mana cost reflects the card's strength, but its potential for explosive plays makes it worth the investment. The flavor text emphasizes the card's theme of cosmic power and knowledge and hints at the untold secrets that the card can unlock. It's almost like Urza's AI is trying to convince you like why the card's good. All right, number 4 is Necrotic Plague. This is a 2 black and a colorless for an aura. Enchant creature at the beginning of your upkeep, put a plague counter on enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets -1/-1 for each plague counter on it. When enchanted creature dies, make X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens where X is the number of plague counters on it. Wow. I honestly have never seen this design in a Magic card before, but it makes so much sense as an aura. Enchant creature, beginning of your upkeep, put a plague counter on it. It gets -1/-1 for each plague counter. And then when it dies, make X 2/2s. Wow. I mean, I actually really want to see this card in the set. The flavor text is, death is not the end, it is merely the beginning of a new plague. That is so cool. This card is all about spreading a deadly disease and creating an army of zombies in the process. Enchanting a creature with Necrotic Plague will slowly weaken it over time, but when it eventually dies, it will spawn a number of 2/2 black zombie creature tokens equal to the number of plague counters on it. This can create a huge swarm of undead minions, which can overwhelm your opponent. The flavor text emphasizes this card's theme of death and decay and hints at the endless cycle of plagues that card can cause. What's actually super cool about this card also that I didn't think, it gets plague counters, so if you proliferate, you can proliferate the counters, giving your opponent's creatures more -1/-1, and put more plague counters on it, and then when it dies, you make that many more 2/2s. So it works really well with proliferate also. Super cool card. Okay, so I asked him to make another one, but more powerful, and I think I should probably stop at this power level, because, just wait, Eternity's Herald. Mana cost is 2 green, 2 colorless, so 4 mana. It's an elemental creature with power and toughness 6/6. Its abilities at the beginning of your upkeep. If you control Eternity's Herald and your life total is greater than your starting life total, you win the game. Okay, I should probably just like tone down the power level, because obviously that's way too good. Flavor text is, it is said that Eternity's Herald can only be summoned by those who have truly mastered the art of time manipulation, but be warned, with such power comes a great responsibility. This card is extremely powerful with a massive power and toughness of 6/6, and making it a formidable attacker and blocker. Its ability to win the game for you if your life total is greater than your starting life total is a very strong win condition, and it gives you a lot of flexibility in how you play the game. The high mana cost reflects the card's strength, but its potential for game-ending plays makes it worth the investment. The flavor text emphasizes the card's theme of time and power, and warns of the dangers of wielding such immense abilities. I mean, it talks about the dangers and it talks about great responsibility or whatever, but there's no downside. I mean, it could just say like, if your life total is greater than your starting life total, you win. If it's less, you lose, or something like that. I would understand, but it's just you just win the game. So let's just chalk that one up to Urza's AI being full of itself. Okay, so I changed it up to say, make me a powerful Magic the Gathering card instead of upping the power level each time, so we don't get a card that just says win the game. So let's read Oblivion's Embrace. It's 2 black and 2 colors for 4 mana aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -3/-3 and gains, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. If you can't, you lose the game. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you would just sacrifice the creature that's enchanted with this. So I don't really know how they would lose the game if they don't have the aura on the board and they don't just sacrifice the creature that this is on. So maybe it's just like a targeted edict for 4 mana, which is kind of fine. The flavor text is, once it's taken hold of you, there's no escaping its grasp. Death is inevitable, but it doesn't have to be quick. This card is a powerful aura that can cripple an opponent's creature and put pressure on them to sacrifice creatures each turn. If they can't sacrifice a creature, they will lose the game, making it a potent win condition. The flavor text emphasizes the dark and oppressive nature of the card, suggesting that its power is absolute and inescapable. The high mana cost reflects the card's strength, but the potential to control the board and win the game makes it worth the investment. So, I don't think you would ever win the game with this, but it's just, I guess that's kind of pseudo flavor text because they would just sacrifice the creature that Oblivion Embrace is on. But if you can let me know in the comments another use of this that would kind of like make your opponent lose the game, maybe if they don't have a creature and then you like give it to your opponent somehow. I don't know how you would do that because it would fall off of a creature. But if you know how to make your opponent lose the game with this card, I do want to know. Let me know in the comments. All right, in at number 7 is Celestial Reckoning. The mana cost is 4 white and 2 colorless, so 6 mana total. It's a sorcery. Ability is destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control. For each permanent destroyed this way, you gain 2 life. Flavor text: the heavens will not tolerate their insolence any longer. They will be judged and they will be found wanting. So this is kind of like a farewell, but it destroys instead of exiling. And it doesn't exile the graveyard, it destroys all non-land permanents though, and you gain a bunch of life. So it's a little bit similar to, I don't know what card that is. It's like a 6 mana card that came out like 5 years ago or something, and around the Ixalan time period, that you can just choose to destroy all creatures, all enchantments, or all artifacts or something like that. And it's kind of like that card, but it just does all at once. So it's kind of like a power cut version of that. And it's a little bit, I don't know if it's better or worse than Farewell, because it's just a one-sided board wipe. It just says your opponent's control. So it's either better or worse than Farewell. It's either, Farewell does exile, which is very important, but you can also exile your own stuff. So it makes it a little bit less good if you're playing artifacts and enchantments of your own or care about your graveyard. But with Celestial Reckoning here, you can play whatever you want on the board or whatever, and it will not actually destroy your cards. So this is super good, and it also says your opponents. So if you play Commander, it's just a one-sided sweeper for everyone else, and you get to keep your whole board. So this is a super powerful card, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if this became an actual card in the future. It seems like a card that would be printed, and 6 mana is a pretty okay rate in sorcery speed for a card like Celestial Reckoning. This card is a powerful board wipe that destroys all non-land permanents your opponents control. The ability to gain 2 life for each permanent destroyed makes it a valuable tool for gaining life and stabilizing your position. The high mana cost reflects this card's strength, but its potential to clear the board and gain life makes it worth the investment. The flavor text emphasizes the card's theme of divine justice and punishment and suggests that its power comes from a higher power. We actually see this sentence repeated a lot. The high mana cost reflects its strength, but its potential but XXX makes it worth the investment. So it seems like there's a little bit of a pattern with the OpenAI with explaining the cards, but it's still doing a really good job at explaining what the cards do. And I mean, honestly, it's just super impressive that it can do this. Okay, in at number 8, we have Mystic Revelation. The mana cost is 3 blue and a colorless for a sorcery. It draws 3 cards. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Wow. So usually cards like this are 3 mana and they make you discard a card, but this one draws 3 cards and puts a land onto the battlefield, so considerably better, but it is 4 mana instead of the usual 3, and it's 3 blue pips. So the flavor text is: to see knowledge of the unknown is to take a step into the abyss, but with each step we learn something new, and the abyss becomes just a little less dark. This card is a powerful card draw spell that lets you draw 3 cards while also giving you the option to put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. This can help you ramp up your mana and get ahead of your opponent, while also giving you more options for your next turn. The high mana cost reflects the card's strength, but its potential to draw cards and ramp up your mana makes it worth the investment. There's that sentence again. The flavor text emphasizes the card's theme of knowledge and discovery and suggests that the power of the card comes from the willingness to take risks and explore the unknown. You would think a card like this is like a 2 blue, 1 green, 1 colorless, but because it's putting extra lands on the battlefield is a green thing, so this would be cool for like a mono blue ramp deck or something, and you don't really see that without artifacts. So putting extra lands from your hand on the battlefield and drawing 3 cards on turn 4, even though it's sorcery speed, so it's a little bit worse. I don't know if what deck it would make it in, but if you have a deck idea that this card would go in, I'd love to hear it. This is a really, really unique card. I really like it. All right, in at number 9 is Infernal Pack. Its mana cost is 2 black and 2 colorless. I mean, I haven't even read the ability yet, but Infernal Pack just sounds cool. It's an enchantment for 4 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. At the end of your turn, if you have 10 or less life, you may sacrifice Infernal Pack. If you do, you win the game? Wow. Oh my gosh. Death Shadow, where are you? All you have to do is go fetch land, shock land, Thoughtseize. You already go down to 6. You already go down to what, 15 life after that? All you have to do is just burn yourself for a bunch of life and then sacrifice Infernal Pact, and then you just win the game. It is at the end of your turn as well, so your opponent has to have an instant speed removal. So, wow. It's not even just if you have 10 or less life, if you lost 10 or more, it should probably say if you lost 10 or more life with this ability, that at the end of your turn you can sacrifice it. If you do, you win the game. So you have to actually have this on the board for like 5 turns or whatever, or have multiple Infernal Packs trigger. but you could just play this if you have 10 or less life and not even care about the drawing cards. It's just 4 mana win the game. So probably a little bit too powerful, but also drawing 2 cards and losing 2 life at the beginning of each upkeep is also super strong. It probably doesn't need the win the game clause. Be careful what you wish for. The price of power may be higher than you're willing to pay. I mean, I don't know what price I'll be willing to pay to win the game, but it's probably this card. This card is a powerful enchantment that lets you draw 2 cards and lose 2 life each turn, providing you with more resources at the cost of your life total. The ability to sacrifice Infernal Pack and win the game if you have 10 or less life gives you a strong win condition, but also puts pressure on you to manage your life total carefully. The high mana cost reflects the card's strength, but its potential to draw cards and win the game makes it worth the investment. There's that sentence again. The flavor text emphasizes the card's theme of dark bargains and the high cost of power, warning of the consequences of making deals with infernal forces. I mean, the consequence is taking 2 life. The benefit is winning the game. So I'll take that consequence all day. All right, and for the last one, I told it to make me the most powerful Magic the Gathering card and see what it comes up with. It says, as an AI language model, I must inform you that creating a card that is considered the most powerful Magic the Gathering card ever made would not be possible without breaking the balance and integrity of the game. Oh my gosh, it cares about card balance. I mean, looking at the most recent at the cards on this list here that I've already went over, winning the game, win conditions and stuff, that's probably breaking the balance and integrity of the game already, but I'll give it to it for the effort. Magic the Gathering is a game designed with the balance in mind, where each card has its strengths and weaknesses, and no card is outright overpowered. Have you read Oko, Thief of Crowns? However, I can create a card that would be considered very powerful and potentially game-changing. Here's an example of a powerful Magic the Gathering card. Name, Eldritch Nexus, mana cost 6 colorless. Card type, legendary land. So it's a 6 mana land? Okay, we'll just say that it's like a 6 mana colorless artifact that also counts as a legendary land, I guess. The ability is Eldritch Nexus enters the battlefield tapped. Tap, add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Okay, so it is a mana rock, but it's also a land. I don't know, we'll go with it. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay X life and X colorless mana, where X is the converted mana cost of that spell. If you do, copy that spell for each other spell you've cast this turn. You may choose 2 targets for the copies. Oh. Wow. So this is like a storm land? That's pretty broken. A 6 mana tapped artifact that counts as a legendary land, will say, because it's kind of confusing. You add colorless mana, and then whenever you cast a spell, you can pay X life and X colorless mana, where X is the converted mana cost, and then it gains storm. So that's pretty broken. Flavor text is, through the Nexus lies a world beyond our own, where power and madness reign supreme. But be warned, once you enter, there is no turning back. This card is a powerful legendary land that taps for 1 colorless mana. Its ability to copy spells for each other spell cast during that turn can lead to a massive plays and game-winning combos. The cost of paying life and additional mana adds a strategic element to the card, as players must weigh the benefits of casting multiple spells versus the risk of losing life. The high mana cost reflects the card's strength, but the potential to copy spells multiple times and gain an advantage makes it worth the investment. There's that sentence again. The flavor text emphasizes the card's theme of otherworldly power and danger, warning players of the risks of meddling with forces beyond their understanding. I mean, a 6 mana colorless legendary land is definitely beyond my understanding, but just say, for instance, if this was a 6 mana artifact that entered tapped, or if it was just a land that disregarded the 6 colorless mana, it's still really broken and probably bannable. So, I mean, this OpenAI definitely does a good job at making cards. They're just a little bit off balance sometimes. All things considered, OpenAI did a really good job at making new Magic the Gathering cards, and honestly, a lot of them I could see Wizards of the Coast actually printing into a set. There's that 6 mana sorcerer that's very good. I can see the 2 mana 2/2 that whenever it gets targeted, draw a card. There's cards in here that could definitely spark some motivation and even spark new cards for being created, even for maybe even Wizards of the Coast members. So I wouldn't actually be surprised if Wizards employees or whatever kind of gained inspiration from using OpenAI to create new Magic cards, because there's a lot of really good ideas and stuff that I've never seen implemented before, and ideas in here that I've never seen before in my life in Magic the Gathering cards that would be really cool. The 3 mana black aura that gives -1/-1 and puts a counter on it, and you can proliferate those counters, or they get a counter every upkeep and it gets -1/-1 for every counter, and then when it dies make a bunch of 2/2s equal to the counters. That is so cool, and something that I think could really inspire some new Magic the Gathering cards. So if you want more of these videos, make sure to give this video a like, give it a comment, and let me know if you like these cards or you like these type of videos, because I would love to make more like this if it's something that you like. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.